Hey everybody, I'm Psychosaurus and I'm back, finally. Oh boy, it's been a while. And while I was gone, well, there was something very interesting happening. This is gonna be like story about what happened, and we're gonna focus about the Norse milestone SUNDER. Now, I'll have to go back a little bit, and to be exact, we have to go back in about like 2 weeks where this update happened, and the main update about it, it's gonna be interesting in the most important towards the armor is this one: added stats icons for, and there's listed snare resistance, conversion resistance, regeneration, blah blah blah, mainly ignore armor. That's a nice thing, right? Because now you know the values while in the game. You don't have to like count it in your head. So now you can just see it straight in your unit stat, which is nice. And well, I don't know how many of you actually use Ignore Armor. Most likely you went for Frenzy, and if you actually picked Ignore Armor, most likely you have swapped to Frenzy. And like I'm probably one of the few that actually used Ignore Armor, the SUNDER milestone for the Norse. So obviously when this was added, I tried playing some Norse, and then I noticed I don't get the Sunder Ignore Armor in my stats. Like I literally did not see any number about Ignore Armor. And then it made me like confused. Like, is it bugged? Is the Ignore Armor actually bugged? So I researched the Champion Throwing Axeman, which gives 40% Ignore Armor to the Throwing Axeman. And that number showed. So I've actually reported a bug that for some reason the Sunder Ignore Armor is not being shown. So I reported it, and well, a few days later, it's been reported, and this is actually part of this update, which was almost a week ago right now, and that's about this one. Fixed an issue with the Norse milestone Sunder, where it didn't increase infantry units ignore armor as intended. And there's also a note: all this time. So pretty much ever since Sunder was released, it never worked. And that, that on one side made me mad because I was using for a while now a milestone that pretty much did nothing for me. And on the other side, it made me happy because I was beating all those quests without the level 30 milestone as Norse. I was like, damn, I'm really good. I didn't even need the level 30 milestone to beat those legendary quests, man. So it made me angry, it made me happy. So now I'm glad that Sandra is finally working. That's great. So if you have been using Sandra up to like week ago, pretty much it did never work for you. It did nothing for you. So now it does. Now, as you all know, probably, Thunder gives 8% ignore armor, and against it you have the Frenzy with 8% attack rate. So pretty much, most likely Frenzy is better, or rather, I should say, it's better at more cases than Thunder because 8% attack rate pretty much means 8% more DPS overall. Whereas 8% ignore armor, that depends on the enemy units you're fighting against. So pretty much, I'm not gonna go deep into it. For Sunder to be about as effective as the 1% damage increase or attack rate increase, as you like, the enemy unit needs to have 0.50 armor. So if you're fighting enemy unit, you take a look at the stats. It needs to lower the damage taken by at least 50%, or rather, it needs to be 50% for Sunder to be as effective as Frenzy. And the higher it goes, the better Sunder is gonna be. Now, there are not many units that actually get at 50% damage reduction with their armor. The only unit that actually starts at 50% is Celtic Champion. That's pretty much the only unit that has 50%, although it might change soon. Because I saw some Legionary stats leaked and I saw some 50% armor there as well, so Roman Legionary might also start at 50%. So Sunder might be great there as well. So if we include those units, then pretty much you need a unit that starts with some armor, and then the enemy gets also some armor upgrades. Now for that, for Sunder to be better, the enemy units need to have the second tier melee infantry armor and need to start at 0.30 infantry armor. So that's pretty much like a lot of units. Like you can include spearmen. Every spearman has infantry armor actually, which is interesting. Anti-infantry units, so such as longswordsmen, hippaspists, archers. Archers and longswordsmen are even better because they get even more armor from champion upgrades, so Sunder is gonna work against them even better. And obviously we can include also royal guards and many others. And yeah, that can include also some anti-infantry cavalry, so cataphract, lance are the only options. Also Gastraphetes gets some infantry armor, but that's like one of the few exceptions, and Gastras don't have that much health, so I don't think it's really necessary to mention it. And the other units pretty much there's no, I don't think there's any unit that would have any other armor value, so I believe that every single unit, excluded these that I've just mentioned, have 0 armor. So against them, it's always gonna be better to use Frenzy because they never reach the 0.50 damage reduction. Okay, so that's pretty much like how the Sunder works. And I've actually noticed there's another side effect around Sunder, and I got actually a screenshot when it happened. So pretty much I was playing Asgard as Norse, and I reached this point and I noticed like cut down trees, and please zoom in. Okay, so you can see like there are cut down trees, and I think that I took it at the wrong time because this tree is actually fallen, and there was no log thrower. I guarantee you, there was no log thrower. So this got me curious, how are these trees getting cut down? And I noticed that my berserkers were doing it. I was like, what? Was there like some change about this? Because I haven't noticed, and I was like, berserkers can cut down now trees. What if? And then I was like, I need to test this. So I've tested it, and you pretty much can test it as well. It's very easy. I just went to City Conquest as Egyptian and just get the Biorix charge upgrade. And if you have watched me playing the City Conquest, you might have noticed that when Biorix charges and his enemies, he cuts down trees around the target. And so I went as Egyptian. I pretty much went for the charge upgrade, but that time actually I did not pick the blighted hammer upgrade, which gives Biorix ignore armor. So I've tested it, and he did not cut down trees. He did not cut down the trees. So my conclusion is that with Sunder you can now cut down trees, because ignore armor works against trees as well. And this actually helped me understand why units such as ballista and catapults, aka units with crush damage and splash, can cut down trees, and units as berserkers, champions, elephant archers, war wagons cannot. So for me, the understanding is that trees, although you cannot see it, they have actually armor, and they have armor against every, every damage type except the crush damage. I don't know if there's like some value, but against crush damage they have, I believe, lower than 1 damage reduction. So with Sunder now, pretty much you will lower the damage reduction. So now they are not reducing the damage by 100%, but less than 100%. So now they take actually damage from berserkers. So if you have infantry units with splash and Sunder, you can now cut down trees if they are attacking enemies close enough. I was like, yeah, that's a nice side effect actually. So for me, Sunder is not only I do more damage to high armor enemy units, but now I can also cut down trees, and my units will not get stuck at trees. So yeah, Sunder compared to Frenzy now has 2 effects actually. Cutting down trees if your infantry has splash, and just doing more damage to enemy with heavy armor. That's a nice thing actually, I feel like. So pretty much all I'm gonna say, I still think Frenzy is gonna be used more often, because you pretty much do 8% more damage overall, so doesn't matter what you're fighting against, and it especially helps against buildings. Whereas Sunder is gonna be used more against heavy armor units such as Hardjars, such as champions, longswordsmen, and all those units that start at 0.3 infantry armor and get like the armor upgrades really fast. So against those you can use it as well. So if you like the Sunder right now, yeah, I think right now at least it works. So if you like it, you can go for it. Now it works. If you don't like it, well, Frenzy is always good. So yeah, that's all from me for now. So what do you think about the new Sunder? Yeah, so I'm gonna make more videos again. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, well, make sure to press the like button. If you wanna see more, subscribe to the channel. I'm pretty much back, so I'm gonna try to make videos again. Finally, I'm gonna have some time for it. And yeah, I'll see you next time, guys and ladies. So bye.